What's up, Colorado State Rams fans? Rich Kurtzman here at Sunny Lubick Field at the on-campus stadium here in my background, and Colorado State victorious again. They're now 2-0 at the new on-campus stadium. They knocked off Abilene Christian 38-10 today, and it was a blowout, sure, but it was anything but a perfect game from your Colorado State Rams. They had 605 total yards, which was the most in Mike Bobo's era here at Colorado State, his 3-year era. And as he said after the game, winning is good, winning is a positive, it builds confidence going forward, but they were not happy with the lack of points that they scored. And it was a top 10 performance in terms of yards, but once again, they needed to put more points on the board. They needed to take care of the ball a little bit better and take advantage of more opportunities, and we'll get into that right now. In the first half, Colorado State was simply off. I mean, the defense, they played lights out. They held Abilene Christian to 0 points in the first half. That was another shutout half for them. The defense is playing magnificently this year, and the offense played okay. Nick Stevens, he was here and there. He was fine. He was not great to play in the first half of that game. And CSU, well, they went into the break up 17-7. It should have been 17-0, but Ryan Stonehouse's punt was blocked, and that was recovered and turned into a touchdown by Abilene Christian. As Mike Bobo said, to have a punt blocked, that could not only cost you points, as it did in this instance, but it could cost you the game. And so he was making that imperative that they never want to do that. They also never want to turn the ball over in the red zone, which is what Colorado State did when Dalen Dawkins was hit right on the football and he fumbled. Vic Stevens, or Nick Stevens, the quarterback, but when he looks like Michael Vick, we like to call him Vic Stevens. He ran for 41 yards on a play just before Dawkins' fumble, and that turned into a drive with no points. There were multiple missed opportunities again in this game. Besides that fumble by Dawkins, Nick Stevens, when he was being the more conventional throwing quarterback, he forced one in to Cameron Butler. The ball was tipped. It was intercepted. I asked Nick after the play. Mike Bobo said that he should have thrown it away. I asked Nick if he should have thrown it away. Nick said, maybe I should have, but if I look at the film, I might have been able to check down to the guy that was the original, the outlet in that play, who was the wide receiver screen. See, they had run that wide receiver screen multiple times throughout the day, going to Michael Gallup, going to Dietrich Clark, gaining yards on it. So on this particular play, he pumped to the wide receiver screen and then went to Cameron Butler, but he forced the ball in. It was not there. He said he threw it high enough, he thought, for Butler, the tall, I do believe he's 6'2" or 6'3", freshman tight end Cameron Butler. For him to go get it over the DB, he wasn't able to get it. The tight end, number 56, as Nick Stevens said, I'm not sure exactly on the number on that guy, he was able to intercept the ball on a great catch, and that really kept the game closer than it should have been. Into the third quarter, ACU, they got that punt block and scored the touchdown. So it was 17-0 at halftime. Right after the half, CSU goes 3 and out. Then they punt it. It was blocked and turned into a touchdown for Abilene Christian. Luckily, CSU was able to strike back. Dietrich Clark, he caught that 19-yard touchdown pass up the seam of the field. It was a great throw by Nick Stevens. Stevens, he struggled here and there. He didn't have the best game ever. He ended up going 25 of 40 for 337 yards with 3 touchdowns, including a 37-yard long. He also had that forced interception. Fans were really tough on Stevens throughout the entire game. But then later, well, we'll get to that in a second, but J.C. Robles was the guy who came in, not Colin Hill. So after CSU was able to score with Clark, well, there was Abilene Christian not letting go, not giving up or rolling over or dying, although they were held after 2 straight explosive plays, big throws down the middle of the field. They were held to a field goal again by the defense. And earlier in the game, too, the defense not only stopped Abilene Christian on a 4th down, but they stopped them on a goal line stand as well. This defense is playing lights out. Josh Watson, I got to talk to him after the game. He led the team in tackles once again. He had 7 total tackles. He had 9 in each of the first 2 weeks. He clearly leads this team with 25 total tackles on the season. He said that they're just building more confidence every time they play well together, and when it's different guys making plays, it's building that camaraderie as well, because they know that each other is going to just simply do their job, which is what you have to do on defense. And the defense played very well today. He also told me a little tidbit that CSU's goal as a football team is to go +2 in the turnover department and for them to take 2 away per game. Jamal Hicks, he got that Hail Mary interception at the end of the first half. And then he got another interception later in the third quarter as well. So they had the 2 takeaways, but they weren't +2. I believe they were +1. Nope, they were a 0 actually. They took the ball away twice. Stevens interception and Dawkins fumble. So they were a 0 on the day. They could have, forced more turnovers or, limited their own turnovers. And if they don't do both of those things next week at Alabama, #1 team in the nation, they're going to lose. It's going to be extremely difficult for Colorado State to upset #1 Alabama, but for right now, they have to just relish in this 24 hours that they get to enjoy the win. Interestingly, after the game, Mike Bobo said that the team had long faces, that they were upset that they didn't win the game by more points, and he said, listen guys, we won. We put up 38 points, we won the game. They deserve credit to Abilene Christian does for coming in here and playing well. And, it's just interesting that the culture is kind of changing on this team to where the players are actually expecting more than Mike Bobo at this moment in time. To finish the game out, Izzy Matthews, he caught that pass down the sideline from Nick Stevens. He ran in. I asked Izzy after the game if he knew that he was going to score when he caught that ball, and Nick Stevens led him perfectly. He said he knew he was going to score before that play even was snapped, because the Sam linebacker was up on the line of scrimmage, and so he knew that if he was throwing the ball that he was going to catch it and score, and he did. He just barely got in. They had to review it. He almost ran out of bounds at around the 3-yard line. But I did also ask Izzy, because Mike Bobo said that Nick Stevens, one of the reasons why Nick Stevens is starting for this team and not Colin Hill, is he knows how to get the team into the right play at the right time. Well, I asked Izzy, does he also see the right things at the right moment, like that Sam linebacker up at the line of scrimmage and knowing that he has to throw it to Izzy? He said he knows that very well, and that all of the teammates, he also said Olabisi Johnson, he knew that he was going to block the safety on that play because BC knew that it was going to go to Izzy as well. So it's just a whole group of mature players playing for their 3rd year for Mike Bobo in this offense, and we're finally seeing all of those successes played out. At the very end of the game, Marvin Kinsey was able to run the ball in as well. Again, it was the 4-headed rushing attack of Izzy, Dawkins, Rashad Body, and Marvin Kinsey. But as Mike Bobo said after the game, they really only have 2 backs, and the other 2 guys are a little timid. At least Marvin Kinsey's running a little bit timid with his ACL still, and Rashad Body was running a little timid today as well. So he was impressed with Dawkins. He was impressed with Izzy Matthews, who finished the day with 12 carries for 91 yards and 0 scores. Dawkins had 12 carries for 78 yards and a touchdown. So later in the end of the game, with fans calling for Colin Hill all day long, J.C. Robles came in, and after the game was over, we sat in there and one of the media members asked Mike Bobo, so because J.C. Robles came in, does that say anything about you maybe wanting to redshirt Colin Hill? And Bobo just laughed at him and said, what do you think? Obviously he wants to redshirt him. He wouldn't completely confirm it. He said that Colin Hill is the backup quarterback and that they will go with him if they have to, but obviously Mike Bobo wants to redshirt Colin Hill. Imagine 3 solid years of full seasons with Colin Hill, who is easily the most physically gifted quarterback on this team. He's got the biggest arm, the best legs, but right now the most mentally prepared and the best leader remains Nick Stevens. It has been the whole year long. Okay, that's it for me here at Sonny Lubick Field at Hughes Stadium. Oh, not Hughes Stadium, the on-campus stadium, of course. Look at how beautiful this place is. The New Belgium Porch people are getting some beers right now. I could go for one. It's been a long afternoon and a victorious one for your CSU Rams. Again, next week, CSU takes on #1 Alabama. I'll be here in the fort, but enjoy that game as it'll be on TV. Thanks for tuning in, Rams fans.